Have you ever been in the situation that you said yes to someone even when you knew you should have said no? Yes to a meeting that you're not interested in? Yes to a project that you don't want to work on? Yes to a birthday party that you don't really want to go to? Yes to a relationship that you don't want to be in? No wonder why so many people are completely stressed out. So why is it so difficult to say no? Now, here's a funny realization. It's not. It's not difficult. In fact, you say no all the time, you just don't say it out loud. But if you say yes to being here, to watching this video, you say no to everyone and everything else. Why? Because you can't be at two places at the same time. So, if you're still saying yes to watching this video, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share with you one simple strategy that will help you to stop saying yes to all of these things that you don't want, to start saying yes to things that you do want, and to see why this is better for everyone. So let's dive in. Now everybody understands that it is better to say yes to things that you do want instead of saying yes to things that you don't want, right? But what I often notice is that people don't consciously decide where to say yes or no to. It kind of happens. It doesn't feel like if it is a choice. You feel obligated to do whatever it is that you say yes to. For example, your boss wants you to work on this project, right? And because it is your boss, you feel kind of compelled to say yes, even though you believe it's a complete waste of your time. But you said yes, and now you have to work extra hours, so your partner has to take care of your kids because you don't have time. And then, well, your partner is a bit upset about that. Tension starts to build up in your relationship, and now you feel like being pulled in all sorts of directions. You feel you're not in control, and you've gotten yourself into a situation that you really don't want. But you're stuck because another reason you said yes to your boss is because there are also bills to pay. And this is because you have a really high mortgage because a while ago you said yes to buying a big house and a fancy car. You see, saying yes or no to things is not trivial. In fact, it determines the direction of your entire life. So if you don't consciously decide when to say yes or no, well, then you're driven by these deep-seated fears and insecurities and limiting beliefs that are locked away somewhere deep down into your subconscious mind. Now, we're not gonna go into that rabbit hole here because that's a bit too deep for this video, but in the description below, you'll find a link where you can book a free call with me if you're interested to explore a bit more in that area. Anyway, even if you don't go down that rabbit hole just yet, there's also a simple but very powerful 4-step exercise that you can apply today, which will help you to say yes to things that you do want and no to the things you don't want. So let's go. Step number 1 is to stop. Don't immediately say yes. Instead, create some space for yourself. And depending on the situation, obviously, you can say something very simple like, okay, thanks for your request. Please allow me to have one day to consider if I can really commit to your request. So what this does is that it breaks the automaticity of your default response. And this is important because your automatic default response is often influenced by whatever is happening in your subconscious mind. And these can include little insecurities you might have, like fear of rejection or fear of disappointing someone. So by allowing yourself to have a bit more time, you now don't have to respond immediately. And so you can now consciously decide based on much better arguments. Step number 2, determine the benefits of saying yes. Now, one benefit of saying yes might be like, oh, thank God, now I don't have to say no. Okay, so by saying yes, you're actually avoiding a certain feeling that you don't want to have, which, okay, is an argument, but it's also based on some fear, right? So hopefully there are also better arguments. Well, list them out. Is a yes good for your career, for your relationships? Is it interesting? Is it fun? So these are all benefits that could be good arguments to say yes. But then step 3, what is the price that you have to pay if you say yes? You might have to invest some of your time and energy and other resources. And what more is involved? Like if you say yes to A, does that also imply that you're gonna have to say yes to B, C, D, and E? And is that a price that you want to pay? And then if you say yes, okay, well, what are all the things then that you have to say no to? Remember, you might feel it is difficult to say no, but actually you say no all the time. You just don't say it out loud. So now let's say it out loud. Like if you say yes to a 60-hour work week, you say no to spending time with your kids. Look, and I don't have any judgment here. Maybe you have excellent alternatives and your kids are the happiest on the planet. But I am inviting you to be completely honest about the sacrifice that you and perhaps people around you are gonna have to make if you say yes. So be aware of that, write it down. What are all the things that you're gonna have to say no to if you say yes to this one thing? And then comes step 4, decide and do it. If it is a yes, then it is a full yes, okay? You're committed, not just for the fun stuff, but also for all the crap that comes along with it. You don't have to complain about that anymore. No, you are committed. You now know what your yes entails, right? So you're committed to the difficult stuff as well. And you are aware of all the sacrifices that come along with your yes. If on the other hand, you look at all these sacrifices and you feel like, wait a minute, this is not what I want to sign up for. Okay, very clear. Then it must be a no. And then you're gonna want to say that out loud. And maybe it's just like, listen, I've considered your request, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, great, very clear. Or maybe you want to spend a few more words to explain your no. Okay, but now you've done the exercise, you have your arguments ready, so now you can explain your no. And the beautiful part here is that since you have said no, you now have space to say yes to things that you do want. And that's it. It's pretty simple, right? And the reason why this is such a powerful exercise is that it helps you to stop acting out of fear or insecurity and to start acting out of who you really are. And people love that because now people can actually meet you. You've put down your mask and you can now really connect. And ultimately, this is good for your career. It is good for your relationships. It is good for your health. It's good for everything. And okay, then there are some people who hate it if you act out of who you truly are. Okay, bummer. But in that case, do you really want to hang out with them if they don't fully accept you for who you are? I guess not, right? So be courageous. Stop saying yes to things that are just not for you and start saying yes to the things that do align with who you really are. So that's it for today. I hope this helps and that you enjoyed watching this video. And if so, be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and also let me know in the comments what you think. And if you perhaps have some other topics that you would like me to cover. And then I can decide whether I'm going to say yes or no to your request. So, hope to see you next time and have a great rest of your day.